even like Lu gets so angry with me, they're like, milk, even if it's like 3 days to go and we've got a new one, I'll just crack open the new
I've
one.
literally,
even if it hasn't hit the date.
Really?
I've literally done a handful of podcasts for
I'm the
SL,
opposite.
and every one that I'm on with Lu, which is not many, we end up talking about best before dates. And her absolute fear of eating the tiniest thing that's gone
I
off.
fly by the seat of my pants.
I
I
really do.
wouldn't fuck with chicken, but that's pretty much the only thing.
Oh, I
Really?
would.
I would.
Would you?
Yeah.
Welcome to the SheerLuxe Team Podcast with me, Charlotte Collins. This week I'm joined by Sherri Andrews Harriet Russell and Lu Hough. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
How is everyone today? It was a gloomy Monday. It was a very wet commute, and now it's glorious sunshine again.
Absolutely beautiful. When I went outside, I didn't need a coat. It's actually incredibly warm still.
Oh, I was going to say it's quite cold. I think it's quite cold today.
Do you think? Oh no. We actually went for a walk yesterday.
We did go
didn't
for a walk yesterday.
And I was so ready to
We were
wrap-
really bundled up.
wrap up.
Sweating.
We were actually basically wearing the same outfit, but I just forget that winter is not here yet.
No, it's
we're still it was 18 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, we were both.
Oh, wow.
We were in our like the really fluffy pairs socks.
Yeah.
Capes. Like we were ready.
Yeah, really wrapped up.
Cozy.
So
It was
sweaty.
not. Yeah, it was really hot.
Whereas if it was like 18 degrees in April, but everyone would be in vest tops.
Yeah, it's weird.
I was going to say, I think I
That's
wore a
so
t-shirt
true.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
We really got it wrong.
Yeah,
we did.
How was your weekend, Sherri?
Oh, it was lovely, thank you. I am back in East London, in the East End, which is really nice. So I get to like...
You've left Tulse Hill.
I've left House Hill, I have.
How come?
So my landlord actually sold my flat. Although my housemate, who I was living with, has actually bought it. So it's worked out really well.
But you didn't want to say?
No, only because her boyfriend moved in and I love them, you know, my best friends, but I was like, I don't really want to live with a couple.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my parents for a little while, have like a reset until I move in with my boyfriend, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, exciting.
Which is exciting, yeah. And it's really nice actually being home and having all the home comforts, which are, you know, I'm very lucky I can do that in London.
Did you get on well with your parents?
I do, yeah, we get on really well. It's just like very cozy and my mum's very wholesome. And
This is like a nice time of year for it as well.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
Do you know, yesterday I was listening to radio and they were talking about SAD, and someone was also saying, like, is there an opposite of SAD where like actually you like
Me
thrive?
too. Yeah. I've googled this. This is me.
Yeah,
Like,
darkness.
because in the summer there's so much pressure to socialise and go out and
like,
wear
wear
skimpy
less
clothes.
clothes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whereas actually in winter you can be cozy,
Yeah.
you can eat what you want. It's way more like indulgent and like layer up, and nobody really wants to go out, and it's okay to say no because it's rainy. And
Yes. So all of these
Yes.
things.
Yeah,
I've
I
googled
thrive in
this.
that too.
It's a thing. and
Anti-sad.
it's, yeah, anti-sad. And I definitely have it.
Or like SHD, seasonal happy.
Yeah.
I don't know though, the dark mornings really get me.
I love it. It was so
I hate
cozy in my
waking
house.
up in
Yeah,
the
dark mornings aren't great, but the rest of it.
I don't mind. Mine's
love.
more, I think, coming home in the dark.
Yeah, you wake up quite late as well.
Yeah,
You never don't see the darkness.
Yeah, I got out.
going home
I
in the
got out of
dark.
bed, I think, at 8:15 this morning.
8:50. It's not for much longer, is it? We haven't actually spoken on the podcast.
No, we haven't.
You are with child.
I am.
So, but, like, not too long to go.
I've got about.
10th.
I've got
You've
2
got
months
2
left.
months left.
Yeah.
I know you had a bit of a show catch up about it, but yeah, we haven't spoken about it here at all.
Yeah,
How are you
I feel good. It's been a long journey. I feel like the beginning, I wasn't super ill. I had a bit of I just felt really car sick basically, but I didn't have severe morning sickness, and I know some people that did, and God, I so like thank my lucky stars.
Although
I
if
didn't
you
really
had
have
it, might have
that.
helped you get over your sick thing.
Maybe.
But it was hot at the beginning as well. You were doing
Yeah,
it
it was
a lot
hot,
through the hot
yeah.
weather.
Yeah, the time where we had that really hot like heat wave, I then also got COVID, which was not fun. So basically up until like 20 weeks I was good, and then everything kind of went a bit to pot, and I got COVID, and then I actually had to go to hospital for a bit with pneumonia, which was also not fun. But I have to give a massive shout out to the NHS, because they were absolutely incredible, and I didn't realise that if anything happens to you after 16 weeks of pregnancy, you automatically go to the labour ward if you have to go to hospital. So both I and baby were very cared for. And yeah, they were absolutely amazing. But yeah, it was kind of been a tricky few weeks.
Yeah, it's not been the funnest. Is it?
But yeah, hopefully onwards and upwards from now. And now I just feel like my husband's like, you're waddling so much, which is not what you really want to hear.
How flattering.
It's been an adjustment. I did my pregnancy shoot last week. So again, I think just adjusting your style as well. I think during summer, I found it really hard because I don't know, you're hot and sticky and you're kind of still growing. And whereas in the past I'd very much been about like trying to accentuate a waist or give myself a waist, whether that was through like tucking something in or using a belt or, you know, different shapes. It was suddenly like, okay, now you're going the other way. Yeah, just trying to work that out and like evolve your style and kind of work out what you feel most comfortable in.
What's been your staple piece so far in autumn winter so far of pregnancy?
So far, I think a knitted dress. I actually think going more form-fitting is way more flattering and you don't feel quite so kind of potato-y. And then you can obviously layer that with like a blazer and boots and trainers or like whatever however you want to dress it up or down. And I never thought I'd say it, but like leggings and a big jumper. I went on a big hunt to try and find the right legging and tried loads and loads of styles and landed on Seraphine and Spanx are the two best ones out there.
Are these maternity jeans?
These are, so jeans was another thing that at the beginning I was like, no, I'm like, that's my thing. I'm not going to get rid of them. And at first I would try like wear my normal jeans, but then do the elastic, the elastic trick. And then what nobody tells you is that your hips also grow. I always thought it was just that your tummy grew. So I kind of thought like underneath the tummy everything would be okay, but then it got to a stage where like I couldn't get my jeans past my thighs.
I think everything grows.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I could do a book on the things that nobody tells you about the actual pregnancy bit. And then I went to phrase, okay, I'm just gonna like buy like 5 sizes bigger, and that basically makes you feel great for a week, and then you realise you're still growing. So I just had to give up on that and give in to the pregnancy jeans.
So what they've got an elastic? Oh, they've got that sexy like, stretchy bit.
If anyone on the podcast, they've got this nice stretchy bit around your tummy, which
comfy.
literally just feel.
I was about to say quite comfy.
It's unbelievably comfy.
And quite good for your psyche, I imagine, because you are able to look in a mirror and think you still look like yourself because you're such a big denim fan, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. When I did the pregnancy shoot, I did one look with just like a sweatshirt, jeans, trainers and a coat, and that's kind of exactly how I would have dressed pre.
And sorry, these are from?
These are actually River Island. They're fully held up by the elastic,
like
the cotton around the top. No, the band
does
is
nothing.
No, it's kind of loose around there, which is nice because the other thing is you don't want anything too tight because it's fine often when you're stood, but then as soon as you sit down, like buttons dig in and it's just not very comfy. So yeah, these have been great. So yeah, knitted dresses I would say, and then leggings, and then like a big jumper and boots really. Yeah.
I mean, nearly there, to be fair.
I know, not long to go. I was really excited about winter and then like getting back into like finding my style because in the summer I just felt a bit lost with what to wear. And
I do think it's easier once you've got like a big bump.
Yeah.
When you're in that kind of awkward 4-month, 5-month stage where it's just, you just kind of, you could just look a bit bloated.
Well, exactly. And I think some people, you're kind of not sure and people maybe don't really want to say and I kind of kept it hidden for quite a long I tried to hide it for a long time.
Well, you do know the gender, so we're gonna have a sweepstakes on names because I'm sure I know.
Are you?
I'm
when I say I don't know, sorry, no, it's like I've entirely made it up, but like I could like describe like what type of name I think you're going to go for, so therefore I can like deduce.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I'd like on my last day to go around with an envelope and everyone write what they
suggestion.
I really don't know.
That's quite
Part
hard.
of me instinctively wants to say she'd go quite classic.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll leave mine for the envelope.
Leave it for the envelope.
Comment below on any suggestions.
Please do. Did you see that the most popular girl's name in the UK this year or last year was Olivia?
Yeah, it has been for about 3 years.
I know. Yeah. And Oliver was knocked off the top spot for boys for Noah.
My nephew is called Noah.
Well, it won't be a Noah then.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Harriet, how are you? What's going on with you?
Yes, good, thank you. I had a lovely weekend actually. I went to Windsor on Saturday, which was a bit spur of the moment. We just wanted to go somewhere for a really nice walk.
Did it feel like there was a missing part?
No, because there were 6 million tourists still there. So thank you to them. No, it was quite a disaster in a way. One that we were able to put right because we got there and like I say, there were 600,000 people and there are like no car parks. However, what we ended up doing, which is what I'd recommend to anyone else, is go across the river and park in Eton instead.
And then walk across.
which is dead easy. There's loads of roadside parking. And then just walk across the river. It's so pretty. I've never been there before. The town, I'm not going to say it has much to recommend it in terms of like shops or anything. It's all pretty standard. But just, you know, it's really scenic. And you can go into the castle already, but you have to book tickets, although you can buy them on the day. It was lovely.
Did you go into the castle?
We didn't this time, but we're going to go back with friends in a few weeks, hopefully, to do that because they wanted to come with us.
I feel like Windsor Castle is one of those things that you're like, I remember my mum like always trying to get us to go, and I was like, oh no, and now I'm like, oh, I should have done that, or I'd quite like to do that.
I mean, it'd be even more special now, I think, because they're letting people into the chapel to see the Queen's sort of plaque. You can't get that close to it, but you can sort of see it through the bars. I'd really recommend just get there before 3:30 because that's when they close the chapel.
Good to know. What an arbitrary time.
To do with evensong, they have to like close it down and get it ready because there's an evensong every day.
What is evensong?
It's just like an evening service basically that they do every day.
Such an old-timey word.
Yeah.
They
do it in Westminster Abbey as well every day.
Oh, so I told you this. I watched you know Pam Ayres, the poet. So she does basically, you know, when you're watching Friday night TV and there are then like some gaps in between, like, I don't know, Have I Got News for You and Gogglebox or whatever it is that you're like trying to watch. Anyway, so like 8 till 9 on Channel 5 on a Friday, Pam Ayres tours. They say the Cotswolds. I think they throw that net quite wide. Anyway, so I happened to turn on one the other day and she was in and around Bath and she went to Cheddar Gorge, which, oh my God, you guys, have you seen the Cheddar Gorge? Like, have you seen it? It's so cool.
I had this message from Charlotte being like, have you been to Cheddar Gorge? And I was like, this is an odd message to us. I don't really feel like this is her thing. And then what was the other one we said?
Cathedral.
The cathedral.
What's it called? Because of the W. Wells
Cathedral.
Oh my God, you guys, it looks so stunning. I'm literally planning a whole trip.
I wouldn't.
Really?
I just think you'll be so disappointed. Also, there's something called Wookiee Hole Caves, which is...
that was it. That's where I wanted to go, to the caves.
Oh, yeah, that's what you asked me about first.
Caves,
anyway, there's a witch down there called the Wookiee Hole Witch.
I don't like witches.
And yeah, we used to go on school trips and it was like, you know, the like... drippy caves.
I like it. Sounds cool. That sounds interesting.
I feel like you'd be disappointed.
You can't see Charlotte down there with her Loewe puzzle bag, is that what you're saying?
No, I can't. Although I did suggest doing a tour of Bristol and just giving, you know, showing you all the highlights.
But I'm not fussed about Bristol. I quite like to do
Somerset, Bristol and Somerset.
I'd like to go and do a night in and around that area. You know, there's the Pig, there's the Newt, there's Babington. I mean, loads of sleepover options.
Nice. Yes, the Pig, Babington, the Newt sound way more up your street. And then the Wookiee Hole Cave.
Guys, the cathedral. Look, have you heard of the place? Wells Cathedral.
Yes,
Is that like saying, have you heard of Westminster Abbey or something? It looks stunning. Anyway,
It's beautiful.
Well, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I think it's like a lovely trip.
Really nice this time of year, I think.
Yes, it might be a January thing.
Oh, okay. Still, even better.
I'll pop by Bristol after. I'll be on mat leave then, so
I'll see the baby.
I'll come join the baby. If you want to bring the baby to the caves or the cathedral,
I think we'll meet you at the Newt.
Okay, fine. Has anyone got anything to recommend? Anything they've been watching? Sherry?
I went to cinema on Friday night, which was such a treat because I feel like I went to the one in Stratford and it's got a huge screen because usually I go to a picture house and I'm a bit underwhelmed. I like
Did you go to like a view?
Exactly, the view, exactly. So I saw The Woman King, which I can't recommend enough. I think it's the best film I've seen this year. And it's set during the 1800s, during the slave trade, and it's about this all-female, like an army, essentially. And it's based on a true story, so very timely in light of Black History Month, and I had never heard of this.
It's true. So
it's true, and it's incredible. So So this is in Africa, in Dahomey, which now would be in West Africa somewhere. This is, hundreds of years ago. And they look after this kingdom, and John Boyega plays the king. And it's about the new recruits. And Viola is the sergeant, and she has to take in these new recruits and train them up to fight the war that is coming. She's amazing.
And Lashana Lynch is in it as well, isn't she?
Yes, she is. And she plays like a second in command kind of role. And it's just an incredible story. And also based on true events, something that I had never even heard of. Like cinematically, it's so impressive. And you really see them like training. And it's like, wow, they are ripped in the film as well. Cool. And just a really interesting story and emotional, a little bit funny at parts. I'm honestly on the edge of my seat. My heart was pounding. At one point I was literally shaking. Oh, gosh. Yeah, it was a very like visceral
Is it like an action film?
Yes, very much like an action.
Cool.
Which I'm not really like a war typey film person, but I loved it.
Vibes.
It was really
There's
good.
another film out at the moment about Richard III and called something else, something King.
The Lost King. The Lost King. The Lost King,
which is about, they dug him up in the car park. And I heard somebody else on a podcast laughing about the amount of people that are going to go to the wrong film. They're both, what is this one? There's something King.
The Woman King.
The Woman King and the Lost King. Don't get them confused.
Very different.
I was going to say, you think there might be a clue in the title.
Yes, it's true. But yes, it's true. The Woman King is unlikely to be the Richard III.
Do I really want to see? This is going to be totally different. The Mrs. Davis.
Mrs. Harris goes to Paris.
Yes, I'm so desperate to see that.
It looks really lovely.
I feel like it's like the kind of like warm cuddle that we all need.
Yeah, fluff.
Yeah.
Total fluff. I know. Anything else?
Oh, just Strictly. But I guess that's everyone's watching. Loved it this week. Thought it was really good.
There's still too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get down to like 8, and then I can I'm loving it, but it's just like a
I'm
lot of
really devastated that Giovanni and Richie have gone.
me too. At least Giovanni won last year, so like
Last week I thought they were amazing.
Yeah.
I just think it was really unfair, and we were talking about earlier, it's the poor costume choices.
yeah, those stupid.
I know, it just makes it a bit of a laughing stock.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why couldn't they have done a makeup version of that? It was,
Yeah.
it was almost
shame.
lazy and just silly.
Sometimes I
wasn't
do really miss the old Strictly format.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when they do video diaries of them in training and stuff, it used to purely be like them in training, like little funnies here and there. And now every video diary is like this orchestrated, scripted montage that literally makes me cringe.
Yeah,
inside.
like they all went to the cinema this week. We were like, get it, it's movie week. Yeah. There's been a bit of a poll going around who does and doesn't find Will Mellor sexy.
I'm not in this.
I was going to say this doesn't do it for me, but Hodge was all over it, and you
Hodge
agreed.
and Sherri.
Okay, never. Let's forget the finger.
It was this bit in particular, and there was the bit where he just went,
Okay, that did not do it.
There was
That
quite
was
a
a
lot
bit
of
much.
gyrating.
Lots of
actually,
gyrating.
this-
I know, but his
Yeah.
hip rolls have like 4 distinct points to them. That should not be a thing.
He is he's very good as a dancer.
Yeah.
Sexually, not for me.
No.
I don't know. I just used to really fancy him back in the day when he was like on Hollyoaks, EastEnders. He's done the rounds, and I just think he's like marriage material.
No, but I don't disagree. But the dancing puts me off slightly. Do you know what I mean? Like I think, probably if I hadn't seen him,
I know what
would
you
have
mean.
been more into it.
Yeah. Each to their own.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's doing a good job. I think I'm more of a Tyler girl myself.
I also feel like a few of them, Will included at the moment, are doing that thing where you can see them concentrating so hard.
So agree.
Yeah.
So
Or like
and they just
counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, and I just, obviously, if they're new to it, that's what they're going to do for a while. But I look at them and I'm like, just let go, guys. Let go.
Yeah. Just relax. They'll get there. They'll get there. But Harriet, anything to recommend?
I watched The Luckiest Girl Alive.
Oh, so did I.
I said so did we.
So
Like
did
we're
we.
one person.
You watched with your husband.
Yeah.
And I did too. So yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant you and the baby, and I was like, that's very sweet. That's really sweet.
No, I haven't got to refer to us as a we yet. Sometimes I say to Lewis, my baby, and he goes, it's our baby.
My baby. What did you think? Can you set the scene? What is it?
Sure. So it is a new film starring Mila Kunis, which is based on a book that came out around 2015 and apparently was a big hit in the sort of YA market. It centres on a woman in her 30s, played by Mila Kunis, who is called Arnie. She works at a sort of glossy mag that but sort of harbours aspirations to work at the New York Times. However, she's sort of got what looks like the perfect life from the outside, very together, very career-driven, but there is trauma in her past that really sort of centres on this school shooting that she survived as a teenager that sort of threatens to unravel that when a documentary filmmaker tracks her down and tries to get her to sort of tell her side of the story.
That was the best.
Yes.
Summary.
That was such a good summary.
Thanks, guys.
Exactly
was really
what it's
good.
about.
Without wanting to spoil anything, that's sort of it. I mean, she has her version of events that she has largely sort of kept quiet for all of these years and let this alternative narrative kind of get out of control about really what her involvement is.
And it's not a spoiler to say there's some question over her involvement in the shooting.
Yeah, was she part of the orchestration or
Yeah.
was she purely a victim? And there is then a sort of sexual trauma that goes hand in hand with that, which again is not a spoiler, that's very much part of the premise, which sort of intersects all of those other events and helps the audience at least understand some of her motivation. The reviews have not been massively kind. They have said that although her performance is really strong, it sort of crowbars a lot of sort of girl boss feminism into something that should be sort of really more serious and have more gravitas than that. I could understand where they were coming from. However, they really praised the scenes of her sexual trauma, which it should be said, like some of these scenes are pretty brutal.
Like so graphic.
Warning.
Yeah, really a real trigger warning if you have suffered
warning.
anything like that. It's really hard to watch. Yeah.
However, as someone who has been so fortunate not to be in either of those situations, I think it gave me a strange sort of sense of empathy watching them in such graphic detail. That's not to say it was voyeuristic or anything like that. It was more just like an empathetic level.
Yeah, it's quite important to see almost if you can watch it. Like
yeah. And I really thought the girl who played the young version of her going through these events, especially the sexual trauma bit, I totally believed everything she was going through. Her sort of like confusion and sort of in and outness of the way they shot it completely sort of roots you in this idea that she has no idea what's just happened to her. Really clever. Yeah. So I actually enjoyed is a strange word, but I think I got more out of it than the reviews are implying.
Yeah, I agree with that. Lou, what do you think?
I don't know. It won't stick with me. Not because as in it's not, a really important subject, but just like nothing about it was I wouldn't say to someone, oh, you must go and watch this. I agree with you. I think it covered a lot of things, but I felt like there was more to a lot of it. I came away with like quite a few questions. You said it was quite a little bit like Promising Young Woman.
I think it's a less good Promising Young Woman in that it's less sophisticated.
Yeah.
And I also think it kind of it sort of makes out like there's gonna, and particularly in the trailer, which we had seen and been quite excited about like a month or so ago, it makes it seem like there's a kind of dark secret to be unfolded. And that's actually not really the case. It's more just that she needs to kind of work out her trauma more publicly. That's kind of what it is. It's not like there's not really as much mystique around the whole scenario.
No, I came away from it a bit like empty. I don't know, I felt like I was really missing something that tied me to it.
Okay, interesting. I totally know what you mean. I thought she was so good in it, and there were shades of her in Black Swan as well.
Yeah.
In it. Like I thought she goes dark so well, doesn't she?
She does.
And I thought so for her performance alone, it's worth watching because in somebody else's hands, it could have been fluff. But because she's a really good actress, it gave it a bit of weight. So I think if you've got a couple of hours to kill, it's a good watch. I agree.
But like I say, it's intense. So
it was intense.
It's not like I was settling down to like a Sunday night, like, oh, this is the new Netflix release, and I was like pretty harrowed.
Yeah,
after
I know.
it.
So Ben was like snoozing kind of on the couch next to me, and we were watching I Love You Man, and then he fell fully asleep, and then literally woke back up like during this like very aggressive rape scene in that, and he was like, "What has happened to I Love You Man? I do not remember this scene." I was like, different film. We've moved on.
One thing I will say is I don't know how these filmmakers and TV makers continue to get the perception of working at a women's magazine. Still so wrong.
I wish it did look like that.
Whether it was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Bold Type.
Bold Type is probably the stupidest
the worst,
one. Yeah.
And this was not dissimilar. I have an editor that like thinks I'm the best and is going to move me on to the New York Times because she thinks I'm so amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and also,
but she was a sex writer.
She literally wrote about blowjobs.
But all the references are always about being the sex writer, and like she puts a dildo in her bin when she's packing up her office.
Yeah, like, so true. It's very reductive.
It is reductive. It says that stuff is like meaningless,
and it's basically saying that you have to go to the New York Times to do anything of worth.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, exactly, and that those are the only type of stories that you're going to write if you're waiting for a women's magazine.
And actually, and also all they all want to do is like move on and like do something more serious. And like, what's wrong with being the how-to girl?
And that you go to news conference and pitch one story, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!"
Yeah, they're like, "You are indispensable."
You hit the nail on the head every time.
Anyway, a genuine wardrobe, excellent handbags in every single scene.
Really,
I thought they got
really
that
good
really well.
wardrobe. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Watch it for the Celine handbags alone.
Yeah.
Anything else to recommend? Lee?
I'm ashamed to say I am now really into Emily in Paris.
You should be.
Yes! Someone else in my camp. Finally.
Yeah, I the first time around I watched
Charlotte
it.
literally hates
because I think it's so much better of the two of you. Like I am ashamed of you both. You didn't watch it, do you?
But I'm ashamed of myself.
Oh, you like it too?
Yeah, I do watch it.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
But
I can't lie.
so I watched, I think, the first two, like way back when it first came out, and I was like, this is absolutely atrocious. Like, how can this possibly be on TV? And I don't know why. For some reason, I was just like, really need something lighthearted.
Well, you were recovering from pneumonia.
Oh yeah, that was it.
I think illness is key though. I was ill when I watched it.
You know, you just want comfort and like.
What's my excuse?
You had a cold.
And it was heaven. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I think you should give it another go.
Not a chance. I've already got George in one ear going on and on about how I need to watch and Just Like That. And like every day she's like, have you watched it yet? I'm not taking on the homework of Emily in Paris.
Sorry, you have to explain this to me. Georgie hated And Just Like That.
No, she went back and watched it and loved it.
Oh, and the season 2 they're filming now.
I'm still in that camp with you.
Thank you. Yeah. There's a behind the scenes episode at the end apparently, which
I've seen it.
Which,
it's 40 minutes long.
Oh, she loved it, and I won't be watching either, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. I will watch And Just Like That, Georgie. I will, but Emily in Paris is a step too far.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Can't wait for season 3, coming soon.
It's 21st of December. I've marked my diary. Literally, I texted my sister.
You'll be with child. Hopefully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll be on that.
No,
I've got big plans. I've got Emily in Paris, and I've then got The Crown, and then I've got Giving Birth. Perfect.
Nice.
Oh, the holy trinity of
yeah, Christmas and
exactly. And then Christmas.
To-do list. Give birth. Watch The Crown. I've got something. We were talking about intense things before. I'm watching The Bear on Disney Plus.
It's on my list.
Ooh.
And
which is, well, friends in America had recommended it to me maybe a month or so ago. It's a rare case of there being a lag between it coming out there and coming out here. It is about a Michelin-starred chef who has worked at Noma and the French Laundry. I mean, I don't think many people in their 30s have a CV that reads quite like this fictional character. He is from Chicago, a kind of, rough, slightly kind of deadbeat part of Chicago, and his brother commits suicide and leaves him in his will his sandwich shop, which is a very rough, dirty, meat and baguette sandwich, lunch shop. I was describing it so badly. So basically he comes back from the French Laundry to run the sandwich shop. He inherits the employees who have been there kind of, scraping dirty scraps of meat off utensils for 20 years, and they have absolutely no respect for him whatsoever because they think he just fannies about with tweezers for food and have no respect for the kind of Michelin life. And it is about how he gets on in that world and how he gets accepted back into that world. There's a kind of other layer of his brother was involved with some kind of mob bosses who he happens to be related to, but so there's a massive debt hanging over his shoulders. There's obviously a kind of emotional tie keeping him there. He's been offered several times to sell the place, and he's like, no, I'm staying, I'm doing this. It was his family business. I think the brother inherited it in the first place. So yet to uncover kind of quite what the deep-rooted connection is, but obviously he's thrown away this incredible career to come and do this instead. It's a bit like Boiling Point, the film with Stephen Graham, in that it is incredibly fast, pacey, stressful, anxiety-inducing. They're obviously trying to kind of evoke that sense of being in a mad kitchen, and so it's not a kind of relaxing watch. However, it has been called a comedy. I would say it's kind of a gritty comedy. Like it's not like murdery and sad, but it's also quite like.
Yeah.
How many are you in?
I've watched 4 of 8.
Okay.
So and I'm really I'm watching it with Ben, and we're both really, really enjoying it. It's entertaining and gritty and really incredibly shot, great acting. It's really, really good. I'd recommend it. You watched one, but didn't
I watched the first one on Saturday night with my husband. He really liked it. It very much gave me that Boiling Point style. I just found it a bit too intense, and I was kind of it's not a relaxing watch. And I think it really shows that life in a kitchen is flipping stressful.
I think episode 1 in particular is like that, obviously, to set the scene as well. It does become a
there's
bit more,
just a lot of noise and shouting and people, and you're not quite sure. I don't know. It didn't. I wasn't like, oh, I'm into this.
Yeah, I think maybe you like that style you don't, because I was like, oh, this is sick. I love it. So maybe it's personal. But anyway, I really recommend it. It's on Disney. Only 8 episodes, so worth giving it a shot. Okay, let's answer some questions. Someone has said, congratulations to Lu. Any maternity jeans racks from the Queen of Jeans? It's a minefield. We've already talked about River Island. Any others?
No, not that I've come across that I've liked. There's a lot of skinny jeans out there. So if anybody in the jean world is listening, I would recommend that you make some longer style, loose, baggy ones because we're after them.
Okay, good tip. Somebody says, that's not a tip. Good
request.
Yes. Okay, somebody has said, stylish going out outfits for 35, post baby board, want to feel sexy but not show loads of skin. This will be you soon.
Ooh.
What do you think? I mean, I guess it's probably hard to predict now how your style might change,
I don't
but
know.
presumably your hope is that you'll just go back to normal.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Right, to not show a lot of skin, post baby body. I mean, you want something a bit loose, I would have thought.
Yeah.
I think accentuate the bit that you feel best about. So
Definitely.
if you like your bum and your thighs, then wear some skinny leathers with an oversized jumper or an oversized blouse.
Yeah.
Or if it's the other way around, then go for like a floaty skirt.
Yeah.
With a skinnier top.
I also think don't underestimate the power of seriously good accessories, because like when you wear an amazing earring or pair of shoes, whatever, people always notice and people always say. And if you're feeling like your body's maybe not quite where you want to be, then I think you can draw attention to other areas of your body.
Yeah. I also think, speaking of that, do you guys remember Georgie went to that Armani dinner and it was on behind the scenes and she wore an Asino dress it's like blue and white and it's like a silk bag essentially, and she wore that with incredible gold Zara jewellery. So find yourself a dress like that that is, like completely forgiving.
Yeah.
And then wear some fabulous jewellery. Someone said how to dress for a commute in the rain. We all did that this morning. I did think about it. Did you? I did. I also thought about this. I went for the double leather because I thought nothing can touch me if I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in leather. For those listening, I'm in long leather boots and leather culottes, and I thought that was pretty rain safe.
This isn't the fashion answer people are looking for, but I just wore my athleisure in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you changed your outfit as well.
No, I had this on under my coat, but everything else.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought like a split hem legging in the rain is like a nightmare,
fair.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's hard. I think as long as you have like a really good umbrella, like my sister has a Nike one that she's had for about 20 years and it's like heavy duty. We call it like the Obama umbrella.
Oh yeah.
Because it looks like you're about to walk out a president with it. Really good umbrella.
Yeah.
And I think just a boot. And I think jacket not so important because if you're commuting, you might be getting on the train anyway, which is really hot.
So hot.
Especially on the tube. So
I think this is where a long trench really comes into its own because it's not too bulky and like hot, but like pretty much like can cover your outfit. So if you're not going to get sick, I mean, that's the whole point of what a trench coat is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a Macintosh.
You are also wearing your fabulous boots today.
Yeah, thank you. Inuiki, the comfiest, coziest boot around.
Are they good for rain though?
No, but I drove, so it's fine.
All right, for some. We've got a lot of fashion questions today. Somebody has said...
Oh, you did a really big shopping trip this weekend.
I did. I didn't buy anything, but I tried on a lot of things. Just like, why are all clothes so expensive? I didn't find anything I liked that was under like £500.
So annoying.
So I bought nothing.
And it's significantly grown. Like it
like
used to be
crazy.
that like 500 was like insane amount for a
I so
coat,
agree.
but like that was kind of your top. And now,
Yeah. Obviously, you can go to the high street and spend under that. But if you want, like, but also, I wasn't even looking at, like, I was in Selfridges, so, like, obviously I was looking at, some expensive brands. But I was looking around, like, the French brands, Whistles, that collection of brands that they've always had there. It's just, like, so hard to find anything, even under £200. Like, there's nothing that you can just, and I think it's, it's good in, like, the sense that you're not buying things, like, just to have them, like you are having to consider every purchase, but also you just like can't afford to build a whole new wardrobe. Not the things I want anyway. So I found some things I've been very inspired by, but not things I'm going to be buying.
what was the top 3 things that you saw?
Okay, so I have this pair of trousers, which I just like I said to you, it's like a boy, like when you meet a boy or a girl, whatever your preference, and you just like are obsessed with them and like they're all you think about.
Yeah.
That's me and these trousers. Like it's love. I'm in love. They are Joseph. They are a really wide tailored trouser, but they are in like a cinnamon orange. They're stunning. And like I know, we were just talking about jeans for you, and I've said this so many times when broadcasting, but I always remember Trini coming on the show and somebody asking what makes a what's the things that everybody should have in their capsule wardrobe. And Trini said, if you look good in bright purple and you love bright purple, then your capsule wardrobe should be only bright purple. And like that has so stuck with me. These orange trousers, I'm not saying that orange is my capsule wardrobe like colour of choice, but like when you find something you're like, I know I will wear those every day for the rest of my life.
And when you find something like that and then you go to then get dressed and everything you think about
would be so much better with them.
Would be so much better with
exactly.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think when you then, obviously they're insanely expensive, so maybe it can't happen, but when you like it's such a considered purchase.
Yeah. Then you do love it.
Then you do
I just think they're a whole lot. They're £1,200 and they're trousers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go on sale though.
I know, but when? They would just look so good with everything. And also, side note, there was so much of that colour in the shop. It was so nice to go to the shops. So nice,
yeah.
I've done it for so long. And there is so much cinnamon around, like specifically that shade. It would all go very well with my lounge. But it's like that colour looks like with navy, with pale pink, with like it just goes with so many colours.
I love like that colour as well with like a chocolate brown.
Oh my god, me too.
Kind of
brown.
real
Oh hello,
rich.
check you out liking chocolate brown.
Yeah.
It's and Joseph they've got quite a few pieces in that shade, and it's literally like you could do like a knit in that colour with the trousers. Oh, I want them so much. So that was what I loved. And then there was a wardrobe NYC, like a kind of Anoraki coat that was quite cinched at the waist and then kind of had big, it was like a kind of fashion take on it.
Did you do Selfridges?
Selfridges, yeah, that was amazing. That was also £1,200. If things could just be like a bit less than £1,200, that would be really nice.
It's so nice also going to a department store. I always say this, that I love going at the beginning of the season because you get to see everything.
Yes.
All under one roof.
100%.
You don't get too tired like schlepping around. You can think about your outfit. You're not to wear a coat.
Also, so I went with my mum. We said that we were supposed to go a few weeks ago, didn't do it. And actually, had we gone 2 weeks ago, the selection wouldn't have been. It was like perfect beginning of a new season collections.
Fresh.
Yeah, so fresh. But also, we were there for 10:30 and we were at lunch by 12:15. I mean, in and out.
Lovely.
Saw everything. Tried it all on.
Did your mum buy anything?
Yes. She got lucky. Yeah, she bought the same jumper in 3 different colours because she's just clever like that. She found a jumper she liked. So 2 shades of green and what's the other one? Can't remember. From Whistles.
What I really like is some sort of like olive green.
Yeah, no, so she bought an olive one and then a more like
nice.
emeraldy one.
I'm
nice.
really into that colour.
Yeah, a
I
lot
love
of
green.
really good autumnal colours. Sherri, have you bought anything recently?
I also went shopping on Saturday, but to Spitalfields, which is so nice and quiet. They've got really good anthropology. Ooh,
Got really good stores around there, and then so good, like so many lovely like little snacky lunchy places.
And other stories. I saw a really nice bucket bag in there. It's kind of like a check design, but green, like a grass green and beige. I thought, oh, that's a nice vibe. I didn't actually buy anything because I thought, let me think about it and then come back.
Yeah.
And review the situation.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just really nice to be in a shop.
Isn't it nice to go shopping? I know.
Yeah, really nice.
I do feel under pressure in shops though. What I like about online shopping is actually the reverse of what everyone says it's going to be, which is like, oh, be careful online, it's impulse shopping, you'll just add it to basket and before you know you check out. And I think it's the opposite.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's considered.
With online, it's like so considered. It's browsing for days, weeks, bookmarking, going back to it. Oh, it's now selling out in every size. Like, maybe that's going to make me pull the trigger. Whereas when I'm in a shop, I'm like, I've literally known you for 10 seconds. Like, am I really going to drop £1,200 on you?
Yes.
When I
wouldn't be spending that online either. But yes, it's so true. You being the item of clothing. Who is she? It's so true. I need to like get acquainted, flirt a bit. Yeah, so right.
I need time.
I feel like though when I go into a store now, I scan really quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like going through a rail and I'm looking for like a colour or a fabric that I like. And I can literally walk in and out of a shop, I reckon, in like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
My husband would be like, we've literally just walked in. I'm like, no, but I know there's nothing in here for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that as well.
Yeah.
I do that. And then every single time we go shopping, my boyfriend pulls me into All Saints every day, like multiple times. Be like, oh no, well we've been to this one. Can we go to one on Regent Street?
Or...
No, for himself.
Right.
And I'm like,
can we get it the same?
Yeah.
So he wants to go to multiple All Saints in one shopping trip.
Yeah.
Do you have a store that you personally you could never walk past and not go in?
Liberty? Is that a really obvious one?
Yeah, no, that's a really good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, you have to just like pop into Liberty.
I just have to especially at
A
this time of
little
year.
I actually tend to do that with Selfridges as well.
Yeah.
Because I'll often walk through Selfridges if I'm coming from Bond Street to Marylebone.
Selfridges, I tend to do like a quick check at the door to be like, is it rammed full of people?
Yeah.
Whereas Liberty, I don't even think. I'm just like in there.
But Liberty can feel more stressy actually.
It can sometimes, but I don't think to check.
Do you know what mine was? It was Topshop. That's what
Yes, this is
we can't
true.
have the Topshop chat again. But
Yeah.
I did watch it this week though.
it's good, isn't it?
It is
Yeah,
good.
you watched it as well.
Yeah, I watched it too.
Trouble at Topshop.
Nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I used to work with Ashley, who's the talking head on it.
Oh, did you? Which one is she?
Ashley Armstrong. So she was, when I was at the Telegraph, she was the retail editor at the Telegraph.
The
and then she
redhead.
went,
The redhead. Oh yes,
and then she went to the
remember.
Times. We only worked together for about maybe 3 or 4 months, but
Nice.
Oh, fun when you know people on TV. I know what I was going to say. Spitalfields. So I went on Thursday night to the new branch of Bubula, which the original one is in Spitalfields and the newer one is in, well, it's not quite Soho. That's why I went there. It's on Poland Street, but it's like the Carnaby Street end of Poland Street, so you don't have to go too into deepest, darkest Soho. How weird, bumped into Heather there. We'd like both made our way there from the office. I was like, oh, hello.
Hang on, you'd both come from work that
Yes, and poor Heather I had driven. Anyway, it's exactly the same it looks like you're in this beautiful ones, but I just forgot what great food it is. If you haven't been, it's like you'd love it. Mostly veggie.
I've wanted to go there for ages.
Yeah, it's like Middle Eastern veggie. It's really, really good.
Nice.
I think there are a few non-veggie things. Anyway, that's really good. A few more questions. I just love the podcast. It's so nice to sit and chat. Someone has said, lovely florist to order flowers from that don't cost the earth. If you're sending flowers, where do you send from, Harriet?
That's a good question.
I mean, don't cost the earth is quite hard. Flowers are
Quite
expensive.
hard. It is expensive. I do tend to just go local as well because I'm Wandsworth. I tend to just go to Bramble and Willow.
Which is lovely.
Lovely.
We should say service the SheerLuxe office for years.
Yeah.
Gorgeous on Old York Road.
But Georgina wrote a piece for the site on it.
She did.
Where she rounded up about 10 for all budgets. So actually there will be a couple of really good affordable ones in there that also do next day delivery. If you're
My default is always M&S.
You send via M&S?
Yeah,
oh, really?
it's 25.
They're in the pews.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure.
are. It's £25 for 20 white long stem white roses.
Oh, wow.
And you can get next day delivery even on a Sunday. And
Top tip, Lou.
yeah, and
Really
I
good.
think, you can spend, obviously, like, there's so many amazing small florists and it's really important to support them, but they can get so expensive.
Yeah.
It's a toss-up, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so, M&S is a good default if you've kind of forgotten someone's birthday or you want to do something quick. Then, it's really good. And also, they last for ages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who knew? Sherri, where did you order flowers from?
Oh gosh, I think I've only sent flowers once. That's probably not a good thing. But
That's an indictment on you.
yeah, I need to do it more. So I will definitely
Yes,
read
there you go. You've
Georgina's
got some
piece.
chocolates
Yeah,
now.
that's my tip.
I've had a fun few weeks. There is a company called Dahlia Beach, who I had actually seen it. They had a stand last year. The Chelsea Flower Show was this time of year because of COVID. So I guess they wouldn't normally be there because I think it's like dahlia season now-ish. And anyway, they had a stand there and I remember just being like completely mesmerised. I got all these photos on my phone of their incredible display there. Anyway, they have been popping up at Queen's Park Farmers Market over the last few weeks. And oh my God, dahlias are just so stunning. So their fields are on a farm called Millets Farm. Which is in Oxfordshire, so it's only about an hour and a half drive, and you can basically buy tickets up until now, between now and the end of October, £5 each to go and cut your own stems from their huge dahlia farm. I know. So I've booked tickets for next weekend. However, she did say that she's seen frost yesterday morning, so I don't know if they'll last. But anyway, something to bear in mind for next year that you can go. And it's £2 a stem, and you can just go and cut your own. You can take your dogs.
So
cute. Yeah, and they're such a lovely company. And my God, they're just so stunning, the dahlias. So I bought them too.
Yeah, it must be in season now. So we actually went to our local florist on the weekend and we got 2 bunches of dahlias for £5.
What?
I know. It was so weird. We got some Dutch tulips for £9.95 and then, 2 packs of dahlias for £5.
Wow.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know, something was kind of felt a bit wrong, but we ran home
I feel like
with them before they changed
I
their
was
mind.
going to say, leg it quickly. Last question. Someone has asked, top things to book for the festive season. We have written some features on this. Sherri, time to come into your own. What should people be booking between now and Christmas?
So many things going on this year. I think there's been like a backlog of the last few COVID-y Christmases. So I would say go to the Royal Albert Hall. Well, go to the website because they have about...
Big
Don't
day
just
out.
turn up. Go on the website.
Knocking on the door.
Hello. There's like 30 things happening this Christmas. Lots of different carols and there's like a Muppets thing for kids. Lots of family-friendly shows. So that would be my number one choice. And then also Love Letters Live is coming back.
What is that?
In November. So it's... How have you been?
I've been, yes.
Maybe you describe.
So I went on a corporate invite ages ago, pre-pandemic. And yeah, Letters Live, it's... I'm sure I was telling the story the other day. It's basically an evening at the Royal Albert Hall, and it sounds so basic when you say it out loud, of celebrities reading famous letters. But ahead of time, you don't know who the celebrities are or who the letters are.
Okay, cool.
So they literally announced them one by one, and what they did, I don't know if they still do, but they would put up on a big screen the name of the letter. So at the time, this was obviously quite a few years ago now, but they put up a letter and it said, from Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, who is the Queen Mother, to anyone who doesn't know, to her daughter, Princess Elizabeth, 1947 or something. Please welcome Olivia Colman. And of course she was...
I got goosebumps.
she was playing the Queen at the time.
Yeah.
But I think my favourite one was they put up on the board from the Provost of Eton College to Stanley Johnson. And it was a letter talking about Boris's bad behaviour at school.
Brilliant.
He walks around the place like he owns it. He has absolutely no consideration for consequences, etc., etc. Please welcome Rory Stewart.
Oh, how funny!
And Rory Stewart read the letter,
Yeah.
and at the end of it, he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby resign from the Tory party." And he did.
Oh wow,
wow.
sassy! I love it.
And it was the whole place was full of journalists. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was a corporate thing. I was there part of the Telegraph thing.
Can you
Yeah.
do that there?
And you can
Yeah,
do it
why not?
anywhere.
You can do whatever you want.
And he knew the place was full of
What a way
journalists.
to quit
Yeah.
your job. I love it. Yeah.
Drama.
But yeah, A-listers like Benedict Cumberbatch has done
Yeah.
it, Jude
that's so
Law.
cool.
So
We
you
had
don't know who you're going to get.
And when
We
is
had,
it?
there are 2 dates in late October. I think it's the 28th and the 29th. One of them's already sold out though.
Yeah.
They're extremely like,
Yeah, if
Popular.
you can get
Hot
tickets.
tickets.
but also what I would say is I went on like a really cheap corporate, like we were up in the gods, didn't make a bit of difference.
Okay.
Any ticket
Where
is
is
a
it?
good ticket. Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, is that the Royal?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
cool.
saw that they're doing, they do the live music for Love Actually. Like they do the
Yes.
Oh no, you're going to no, but I didn't want to say this in the podcast because I need to book tickets before it goes.
Oh,
Go on.
okay.
No, you can say it.
Well, it's for the holiday.
That's such a good one.
That is
Such a good
one.
one.
Do you remember when I saw the Love Actually one and then someone proposed on stage afterwards?
Yes, and I was so I went I think the
that's
day
so
before, or the
sweet.
day after, and
Yeah.
I missed that, and I was gutted.
Yeah, it was great. It was really
that was like
emotional.
one of the best things that I've ever
Yeah.
seen. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
do
think
it
holiday
again.
would be so good.
Yeah, we're going to do the holiday. Yeah.
They're also doing that for the Nightmare Before Christmas at Wembley.
Cool.
Oh, wow, at Wembley.
Yeah, it's going to be a big production. And Danny Elfman, who, if you're like a the Nightmare Before Christmas superfan like me and my family, he does the voice of the Pumpkin King and all of the music, and he's going to be there live, like singing and acting on stage.
Oh,
So,
really cool.
Yeah, really
Well,
cool.
there's so many like great. This sounds so stupid, but like great things out there, aren't there? Like,
They're really-
I love
That's because we've been
podcasts.
starved for
This
like
is true.
3
This
years.
is true. They want some great entertainment. I have booked tickets for Christmas at Q, which I've never done before. And I'm
I did
so
it last
excited
year.
about it.
So good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So I've got that.
It's really fun.
That in the pipeline. I know. That's so pretty. Anything else?
Anything else?
Oh, there's gonna be an ice rink at Battersea. I heard. I thought we should do a team trip.
Yes,
Fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
Power Station, yeah, which
Yes.
opens this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, Friday.
cool.
I know, exciting. All right, I think we will leave it there. Thanks everyone. If you have any feedback, please do email podcast@SheerLuxe.com. We love hearing from you. And don't forget the question box goes out every weekend, so do keep your eyes peeled if you have any questions for us. Don't forget also to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.